Hey everyone, this is Once Bitten here, going to Game 4 of Buckeye Battles 2013. I called this game Death by a Thousand Cuts. It's my Empire versus a Dark Elf army. 2,400 points, of course. Let's see, the scenario is called the Frenzy Force, or I called it the Frenzy Force, but basically what you're trying to do is control that forest in the middle of the table. But the problem is if you ever are in that forest, you must declare a charge. You're frenzied and cannot test to avoid charging. At the end of the game, you get 100 victory points for every unit partially in it, and 250 points for every unit wholly in it, which probably can only be one unit. You get +2 bonus points for controlling it in the game, and you can get +1 bonus point for every charge that you actually connect when you charge out of it. So, far right, Harpies, a unit of Fast Cav with a level 2 Lore of Metal Sorceress, Hydra behind it. Then behind the woods, small unit of Fast Cav, a hero level character on a Dark Pegasus, and this one is very cleverly outfitted. The Cloak of High Gref means if you ever shoot at it, it halves the strength of it. So if you shoot a cannon, instead of strength 10, it's strength 5, and he's got a 1-up rerollable armor save. So he has a 3-up reroll, virtually unwoundable by cannons, and certainly unwoundable by Hellblaster Volley Gun. Some more Harpies, unit of Assassins, a unit of Shades, and he has 2 Assassins, so I know that one Assassin is going to be in this unit of Shades. He's got another hero level character on a Pegasus with the Pendant of Kaleth, so again, pretty much unkillable by cannons. A very large unit of Fast Cav with a Sorceress with Sacrificial Dagger, and a Seal of Grond, which is kind of magic defense. Another unit of Shades with another Assassin in there. So on the left, this is after Vanguard. I had my Pistoliers so that he couldn't really get behind me, and so then I just kind of moved him over here. The Demigryphs are formed like that, not just really because of that swamp, but because the Pistoliers were too close to put him 4 wide. Artillery on the hill, Inner Circle Knights, Halberdiers, Hurricanum. Those are all my characters. So you see, I was focusing more on getting these core units in the woods, being willing to charge out of it, because not only are you irresistibly frenzied, but again, you're frenzied, so there's that extra attack if you fight in the woods. And I like the idea of parking my guys there. And then I had this idea of having the steam tank way out here, because I didn't feel like I needed them necessarily right at the beginning, and it was kind of keeping the Shades away from being behind my lines. So I win the roll to go first. I move up like that. Here's the left. Big mistake I made here is I wasn't thinking that his Fast Cav were movement 18 with a march, and so I made it so they can easily get out of charge arc of my Demigryph Knights. So when he put, I see that big Fast Cav unit as a big point sink, and he's kind of on the side of the table, so I'm thinking, hey, I might be able to line it up so where I can force him to take a charge, and then if I can get him in combat, I can easily wipe him out. And I'm thinking my only chance here is to shoot his smaller units, somehow corner that big unit, and I need to get my steam tank over here tied up with that Hydra. So anyway, it looks like that. Go to the magic phase. I roll up 12 power dice. It was actually bad, and it was bad. I knew it was bad as soon as I rolled it, because I need to either put them all down and not try to cast anything, because with the Lore of Life there aren't a whole lot of great spells to cast on turn 1. I do a magic missile. I throw 6 dice at it because I'm thinking the miscast doesn't. There are very few miscast results I'm worried about, and it goes off irresistible force. I kill a couple Dark Riders in another unit, and I kill a handful of Halberdiers. Not a big deal. Then I throw 6 dice at Dwellers Below at this mid-size unit with a level 2 Lore of Metal, because the other unit was not in range. I irresistible force it. She passes her strength test, so he still has a level 2 Lore of Metal, and I roll Dimensional Cascade, lose my wizard, and half my Halberdier unit. Very, very unhappy with how I'm playing this game so far. Dark Elf turn 1 looks like that. Yeah, this is just ugly at this point. Harpies come up to railroad my steam tank, so I'm going to lay a flame template on him, but really it's going to slow him down. Hydra's looking like he's coming up here to mess with my Halberdiers, and that's a perfect matchup for him. And I can shoot at him, but even if I do, he's got a regen 4 up, so it's tough to get it through. And here on the left, so first off, at this point I'm kicking myself because I didn't realize they had such great movement, but I'm still hopeful because my inner circle knights can see them. And I don't think my opponent was thinking about that because he could have flown his harpies up in front of my inner circle knights to block me. And they've got the steel standard, so I have a really, really good chance of connecting a charge of my inner circle knights into the flank of his general's unit. And so I'm very, very hopeful about that. Yeah, he has 2 Lore of Metal spells in my steam tank, and I get fairly lucky, but it still cut it in half. He shoots and stuff and kills a cannon. Shoots and kills my fast cav. And we go to Empire turn 2. So this is the right-hand side of the board. I'm trying to hold up the Hydra so I can shoot at it, get my Halberdiers in the woods, so again they'll be frenzied, and I can start making those connecting charges so I can get those +1 bonus points. And during his magic phase, he used the sacrificial dagger, I think a couple times, killed a couple of his riders, and when he did it, he made it to where I just barely could not see them. And so I figure the best I can do is just try to line it up to where he can't get out of my line of sight. So I do that. I'm not thrilled about my prospects at this point. Lay the flame template on the harpies. They fail their panic and eventually run off the board. So my steam tank's at least freed up a little bit, although he's right next to a level 2 Lore of Metal. His 2 unkillable nobles on Dark Pegasi charge my war machines. That'll be easy wins for him. His shades just sneak right through these 2 units. Harpies do jump in front of my knights at this point. And Hydra comes into my Hurricanum. Yeah, he took his, well, this is over on the right-hand side, of course. And on the left, I should have shown it pictures back, but basically he took his level 4 out of the unit of fast cav, so she's well outside the line of sight of anybody, and her fast cav are kind of at the top of this picture. But again, on my turn, my knights can charge the harpies and I can kill them, but then he's got his fast cav can just scoot right away. So now he's just shooting up my demigryph knights, kills my war machines, beats but does not run down my Hurricanum. We go to Empire turn 3. So yeah, so I move, as you can see. I think the Halberdiers failed their panic test from where they were, I think. Anyway, now at this point, I've charged the inner circle knights into the harpies. Other than that, I've given up on trying to corner his units because I know there's nothing I can do. He can just dance out of my line of sight, and he can stay back and shoot at me and magic me, and there's nothing I can do about it. So at this point, I'll admit that during the game at this point, I was really frustrated, saying this list I'm playing against is not a fun list to play against. Haven't had a chance to review the pictures. I'm realizing I just played an insanely awful game against it. So I charge the harpies. I'm trying to connect charges here because it gives me those extra bonus points, but I fail them. After killing the harpies, I just turn around. And again, I'm just going to go to the woods with my guys. At least gives me a cover save, and I can maybe connect charges out of it. But for the most part, it's turn 3. I mean, he's got 4 turns just to shoot and magic me to death. He's sending, vortexes through my guys. Dark Elf turn 3. Amazingly enough, there's nobody within my charge arc, so obviously I'm not charging. He does charge his Hydra into my Hurricane to finish it off. Yep, this is him just dancing behind my guys. Shoots. Rinse, repeat. Kills my Hurricanum. Turn 4, I just get into the woods. I did connect 2 charges with my detachments, so I get 2 bonus points because of that. I reform and move my Halberdiers into the woods. So again, if somebody charges me, at least I'm frenzied. I can't keep him from charging with stuff he wants to charge with, and I can't connect charges otherwise. My demigryph had failed his panic rallied, but it doesn't matter because he's not long for this world. Magic and shooting cuts my inner circle knights almost in half. Hydra, both characters come into my Halberdiers. Everybody else is not charging my demigryph because why? All you have to do is shoot them. Sorry about the blurry pictures. Looks something like that. Oh, look, he's killed more of my guys. I think this was template vortex going through them. Killed my BSB. The unit's down to almost nothing. Dark Elf turn 4. Now, at this time, at the point of the game, it's really tedious. I refuse to quit because I think, and especially in a tournament, you shouldn't quit. But I have no chance of doing anything, and he's not quite killing me. He's just taking a wound here and there. He can't quite get past the Demigryph's armor save. So, see the Demigryph's sitting on 1 wound remaining. Um, yeah, what I have is on the table. Well, is on the table. Was in the picture. Let's say on my next turn, I do complete a charge against that lone remaining Dark Rider. So I get 3 bonus points. The Halberdiers, of course, are gone. The Demigryph is gone. There's that. I'm frenzied, so I have to overrun. So it looks like that at the end of my turn 5. At the end of his turn 5, he moves up behind my guys, of course. He sends a million bolts at me and magic and all that, and ends up finally killing the characters. And at that point, we call it. I realize I still have a steam tank on the table, but he still has another turn that he easily can get this. He kill the steam tank. It's only got a few wounds left. He's got Lore of Metal. He's got vortexes. Yeah, I mean, and even besides that, with all the victory points he can get, he's easily at max points. I got 5 points, which is really the minimum you can get, and I got 3 bonus points, so I'm at 8. And absolutely crushing loss. I would say that's by far the worst I've ever been beaten in a game. And I would say it was the most frustrating game I ever played, but it really, I don't dislike my opponent's list. It's a very fine-tuned list. You really just have to know how to play against it, and I've never played against a list anywhere near like this. So kudos to him for bringing a very unique kind of list and playing it very, very well. I felt like I really had no answers for it. But again, in hindsight, I think I misdeployed. I mean, the steam tank being in the middle of things with 360-degree charges would have certainly helped a lot. Playing my cavalry such that he couldn't easily just dance out of my line of sight early in the game would have been really helpful. Just very, very poorly played on my part. So, yeah, at that point, I mean, wow. I think overall the tournament's going well, but this game was absolutely atrocious. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it more than I did.